not talking bad about employees, all of my employee friends got vaccinated like this.
Yeah, because their job's online.
Right away. Not even that. Fuck the job. They were just like pro-vax. What do you mean you're not getting vaccinated? You got to protect everybody. I'm like, bro, what? And all my business owner friends were like, we got to figure out a way around this. You know, there has to be a solution here. You know.
What's up, everyone? How's it going today? My name is Daniel Francis. I got my cute dog as the guest. I'm kidding. Nick, how you doing today, sir?
Good, man. I'm good.
We got an amazing guest with such a plethora of background of sales experience, entrepreneur experience, business experience. And I feel like we've been friends for what? Dude, like, has to be 2014.
Yeah, it's been 8 years, I think, since we've known each other. 7 years, 8 years now. It's crazy.
Which is crazy. Like, I remember knocking doors with you back in, I don't know what city.
It was 2014 in Midland, yeah.
Ontario.
Midland, Ontario. You were listening to nothing but Grant Cardone. I think you're the first guy who put me on Grant Cardone.
That's a big deal, man.
Huge deal. So definitely propelled that into that. Definitely propelled my interest into that individual. You know
I love that, man.
Killer.
I love that. No, and it's cool because 8 years later, it's like, you know, a lot of door-to-door experience. It's like built us into like men at some level. It's almost like going into the military.
Yeah.
You know?
For real.
Right?
A hell of a military.
Because you have to be disciplined. You have to have a good attitude.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be professional.
Yeah.
So like I didn't enter the Navy or the military, but door-to-door at some level, you have to man up.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to door-to-door, you go through so many trials and tribulations, especially, you know, myself and yourself coming into it. When we first came into door-to-door, we didn't have so much leadership to actually show us what not to do. Yeah. We had no structure when we came in, so we had to learn the hard way. I felt like, you know, it took us a while to understand that this is the right way to run a door-to-door sales team, to run a sales business in general later on. But in the beginning, I wouldn't change anything from I wouldn't change anything from what happened because of those failures at the front end and when we first started, especially, that's what built us the thick skin. You know what I mean? That's what enabled us to actually be able to weather a shitload of pain.
Yeah,
you know, when it comes to door to door, you already know better than, you know, just as well as I do when it comes to, you know, knocking minus 40 degree weather, plus 40 degree weather, knocking in tornadoes, freezing rain, snow. You know, it's not a joke. There was one time I was knocking in Barrie. I was 19 years old, 20 years old. I was 19 at the time, and it was in Angus, Ontario. And they were like, why the hell are you knocking? The homeowner's saying, why the hell are you knocking? The sky's green, you know? The rain's flying sideways. I'm like, guys, we gotta get this. Let's fucking go, you know? And, you know, it just builds a different type of animal in you, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, man, it's a fucking military, all right.
Well, let me introduce you, cool? So this is my good friend, Nick. So at 19 years old, he started in the door-to-door sales realm. At 21, he opened your own company, and you did your first million over 100 plus salespeople.
Yes.
Which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that was a fun time. I was 21 years old, didn't know my left foot from the right foot. I didn't come from a wealthy background. My mother is a refugee from former Yugoslavia. From Bosnia specifically, in a little place called Punjavod. She escaped over to Hungary and then flew here. Didn't know how to speak English, but we ended up here in Canada, which was pretty cool. And you know, growing up, I had one pair of jeans per year. You know that kid that wore uniform on Civvies Day. That was me, you know. So I didn't really know. I didn't have any financial sense. But at 21 years old, after a lot of hard work, dedication, I cracked the code on learning how to motivate and influence people and really lead. You know, producing was one thing, and you always have to be a high-level producer to be able to do anything in life and any space, whether it be sales, you know, faith, you know, relationship, whatever it is. Production is relative to every single space that you look at, but you really want to know how to lead, motivate, and influence others to better their lives. And I feel like I cracked that code when I was, didn't really crack that code, but I started to crack that code at 21, which gave me that success which gave me that success at that age.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a great podcast, dude.
Yeah.
We're aligned at a lot of different levels.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, of course. How is my crazy dog doing? He's good?
I think it has.
Yeah, of course. You're a good podcast guest.
If only she was green.
You're a good girl. And then to continue, then went on to the US, the States, built up a massive water company, did $10 million in revenue, second year in business, and then expanded into solar in 2020, and now growing Canada's largest solar company, Sunwave Solar, and growing an insurance agency based in Texas, and then at the moment leading over 200-person sales team and leaders all across North America. So you, like I said, you are experienced in the business realm, and it's not like you have daddy's connections or you got, you have come from, you had a silver spoon in your mouth. You're kind of building it from day one, and it's just a different grind because you have to prove yourself to the people that have the connections.
100%.
And initially, all you have is the sweat equity. All you have is, look, I'm gonna outwork any person that gets in front of me, and I don't need your connection. I'm just gonna get so good that you're gonna want to work with me.
100%.
Because that's all you have. Like I don't have Dice connections either. I don't have, I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth. I was blessed with parents that gave me a good work ethic. There was love in my home, but on the sense of, hey, if I want to become a millionaire, how do I do it? Or a billionaire, or whatever it is. That wasn't a thing in my world. That wasn't a thing in my family, period. And you're not going to learn that in university. I went to Brock University. I'm not going to learn that in Brock University. Are you just going to eat the whole couch, miss? You're going to eat the whole couch?
No, 100%, man. What's it called? Sweat equity is a serious thing. It was actually a funny story. When I was 21 years old, I thought I had it all, zero financial sense. Anything that a 21-year-old would do wrong, I did wrong. Got into the wrong stuff. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Oh, fuck it, it's a no filter. Got into the wrong drugs, got into the wrong habits, got into the wrong group per se. And what I did at that point in time, I pissed away every dollar that I made. And I lost everything, because I thought the money was never going to end, and I thought everything was just going to go uphill. And at 21 years old, I suffered my first massive loss, lost everything. I was busted, broken, disgusted at that point in time. After I made it, I was about 280 pounds. After just having an abundance of money, I was spending a stupid amount of money on food, buying everybody food, doing this, doing that, just stupid stuff, right? Everything the wrong that you could do at 21, I did. And then the industry took a little bit of a downturn, and my leadership, what happens is that talent will get you places, but if your character isn't there, you're not going to stay there long term. And if your leadership isn't there, you're not going to stay there long term. And that's what really happened to me. I had the talent that got me to there at 21 years old, but the leadership and the character didn't keep me there, and that's why I lost it all. And a lot of pride. Pride is it's a two-way sword. I feel like when a man's prideful, God will knock you down to your knees and make you pray, And that's what I felt like happened to me at that time. And what happened was, 21 years old, I knew I'm like, the States is the final, not the final, but it's the bigger pond. It's not a pond, it's the ocean. I feel like being here in Canada, we're kind of limited to population, density, unless you're going on a virtual aspect. But when you're doing a door-to-door thing, when you're on direct sales, doing these things, you're limited to the amount of people that are in your area. That's just what it is, right? In Canada, 30 million. In Texas alone, there's 30 million, right? So when I went down to the States at 21, I had $1,000 left in my pocket after making $1.4 million that year. It was a fucking funny time, man.
You had what again?
$1,000 left in my pocket. I flew down to Texas. I stayed in a garage with two of my partners in a hood called South Park. It's not a joke. Search it up. Across the street from the projects. I'm like, I never grew up in a nice neighborhood in my whole entire life, but I didn't know what the hood was until I was across the street from a projects with AK-47s literally pointing out the window, and I'm like, holy shit! And I literally stayed in a garage with two of my buddies, sleeping on a futon covered in ants. And for the first 6 months, we ate shit. And the next 6 months, we figured it out, cracked the code, and we started eating caviar. And that's when we started to see growth and in turn to exponential growth.
Damn, man.
Some funny stories, man.
Well, this
but I'll
is
end it off with
one
that.
thing I've really realized with a lot of salespeople is they make 250 grand one year and then they spend 270 because they think they're going to make 500 grand the next year. And then they make 500 grand and then they think they're going to make 750 next year, so they spend 600 grand. And I have a lot of, like, not a lot of buddies, but I have buddies who, you know, it's like reality catches up to them and then they owe $100,000+ to the CRA or $200,000 to the CRA or all their credit is maxed out and then their credit score sucks and they can't go buy a home and then they, you know, it's like, it's I think it's a pride thing. It's like, you know, because you didn't have daddy's connections and you prove so many haters wrong, you then build this ego of like, see, I told you guys, I told you what's up, you guys didn't believe me, and then you start flexing on these people. And I've seen the stories, I don't know who exactly, but you know, people get in the Ferraris and then it gets repoed or I don't know if it's you, but someone so bad. No guy, right? Or I even have buddies, it's the exact same thing. They can't afford the payments anymore, and then they're flexing and it looks great on Instagram. But then a year later, it's like they crash. And I think one thing that I've noticed about you is like, sure, you've gone up and down, but you're constantly, like the grind doesn't stop. And I think with a lot of people is like, when they lose it, you know, and I talked about this in one of my older episodes or one of my past episodes, like they don't know how to bounce back. So they literally jump off the fucking building, right? Yeah. And I think that there's character like what you're talking about. You know, which is you can lose it all, but you can do it again. Yeah. And then I think it's relearning and understanding, okay, great, so I can make all this money, let me be smarter with it. Yeah. I also got to live a decent lifestyle because that's what, see the thing with salespeople is like, when you invest into you, like for example, I got myself a nicer condo. Did I have to spend this much money? No. But I did it because I know mentally I'll be more on fucking point. Yeah. Because, so, you know, or my hunter instincts will come out. So there's the good things with that, but the problem is when you spend too much money and then you're always in debt and then you're living in a place of scarcity where you're always trying to fucking catch up. So I think that's the good thing about myself is I didn't go as hard as some of my buddies, and at the time they kind of, you know, poke jabs at me. There's the goods and bads, bro. I think it's the ability of you to bounce back has been so vital. And that's kind of what has allowed me is I didn't spend everything I made. Bro, like I made $100,000 when I was 23. And you know, it's like, that's what my dad's making. You know what I'm saying? So I did that and he's in his 50s, I'm at 22, 23 making the same amount of money. It's a mental trip. 100%. You go, what the hell's going on? And it's almost like you gotta like you have a new identity. Because it's like you've made all this money, but when you're so young, you're shifting through these identities, and you're like, you know, making fucking $8,000 to $10,000 cash in your bank is a huge deal at 21 years old, 22 years old. 100%. Like a lot of, and we're not ready for it. No. And most people around us didn't experience that. Because if we were both born in families that were not from wealth, they can't relate to us.
100%. 100%. You don't get taught as a child, and I vowed to do this for my children. I'm gonna teach them from the day they're born, the day they can read, is literally just filling their head with the right education to make them successful in life. And I even want to homeschool my kids. You know what I mean? I feel like I grew up in a scarcity mindset. You know, my mother always not having enough, or single mother, 2 kids, right? Always not having enough, always worried about the bills. And I feel like that emotion translates to their children. You know, that ideology translates to their children, and that's where you have just a family tree of non-affluency. I don't know what the right word is.
It's that poverty generation.
There you
cycle.
go, the poverty generation cycle. That's the right verbiage. Yeah, I mean the poverty generation cycle, and I feel like because, and same for you. I know you did the same thing, and I'm sure your family, you know, there was always a roof over your head like there was for mine. There was always food in the fridge like there is for mine, for sure. But they never thought huge. I don't know about yours. I don't want to speak out of turn, but coming from my family, we never thought big. So I felt like
safe job with benefits.
Exactly, you know, and I felt like you know, I was the one, and I will be the one to break that barrier and that line in my whole entire family. Because even going back home to my family back home in Yugoslavia, there's nobody that's doing absolutely anything of stature, you know? And I feel, and I carry that pride, but not in an arrogant way, just in I'm proud and grateful for where I am, and I'm proud and grateful for where I can go, you know? Yeah. So like, you know, losing it all and bouncing it all back, I'm happy I lost it all at 21. I'm really grateful. I've lost it all actually once after that as well, and it was just through arrogance and pride again, and I feel like God always taught me lessons, but at 21, I'm so grateful that I lost it all, because a lot of people don't lose it all until 40, until 50, and they don't know how to deal with that pain. Because the pain, you know, you're on your knees, you're crying, you're like, why the fuck did this happen to me? And you either get broken down into pieces, and it's okay to stay broken for a day, but unfortunately the world keeps moving forward, you know what I mean? So the ability to bounce back, man, is so crucial. And where that ability comes from for both you and I is we're able to lead from the front. We're actually willing to put in the work. Yeah. There's a lot of guys who come into the sales space, who come into this space, that space, and they just want to tell people what to do. They don't want to be that example of leadership. They don't want to be that production leader. They just stay at the level 1, level 2 level of leadership, not 3, 4, and then eventually 5, depending on how good they are, right? And that really bites them in the ass, because after they lose it, and you will lose sales teams. The process of building sales teams is you build up sales teams, you lose it. You build it up, you lose it. And then you continuously build up certain key leaders that stay with you long term. And those are the people that allow you to multiply at a high level, you know? And what happens is, you know, when you're not willing to roll up your fucking sleeves and pull in a shitload of elbow grease, you tend to lose it all, and you can't build it back because you didn't develop the skill set required to actually build it back. And that's the problem, you know? So I'm happy I lost it all, man. If I didn't lose it all, I'd be an arrogant 21-year-old piece of shit, and I'd probably be an arrogant 28-year-old piece of shit right now, you know? And go ahead. Humbled like crazy, man, like crazy. Like now I'm grateful so much, and I look at, it's brought me closer to God, it's brought me closer to so many things, family, everything has just become more clear because I've lost it, you know? If I didn't lose it, I wouldn't know what pain was. I thought I knew what pain was, but if you don't lose it, you don't know what pain is. You know what I mean? But yeah, man.
Craziness, crazy, man. Well, I think a big thing too, and what kind of came to my head was beliefs. Yeah. Like you're kind of born with the family that you are raised with. Yeah. There's a belief system embedded in you. Yeah. And to go from poverty to wealthy, and not even poverty, just like middle class or lower middle class, and to me, it's a losing battle with the middle class. Yeah. Oh. Like there is no middle class. It's an illusion. Yeah. And I think, like, especially with the prices of houses in Canada, like, you can't make 70 grand any fucking more, bro. You can't. Like, what is like? Let's just start talking numbers, because we're both number guys. So let's just say you work your ass off. You start off at 40 grand a year, 50 grand a year, and you work up to what, 8 grand a year? Yeah. Or sorry, 8 grand a month. Sorry. 40 grand a year, 50 grand a year, you move up to 80 grand a year. And you hit 80 grand at what, maybe 35, 36, 37. How are you supposed to save up for a house? How are you supposed to pay the bills? How are you supposed to pay gas when it's $1.60 today? How are you supposed to pay for insurance? God forbid you get into a car accident. God forbid your insurance goes to $200 to $400 to $500 to $600 a month. God forbid there's a mistake. God forbid someone needs money. God forbid, I don't know, the cell phone bill goes to $250. Like, there's so much stuff to it. God forbid you want to go on a vacation. You can't. How are you supposed to save up for 100 grand to go put a down payment on a house? It's impossible, man. It's impossible. A losing battle. And you lose 40% of it to the government. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Trudeau. My man. Be sure to watch my video on Trudeau. Coming soon if it's not out already. No, but it's like so like, let's say hypothetically me and you both listened to our parents' advice, which was door to door commission. Nick, go back to school. Nick, man, this is a pipe dream. Right? Money. So let's say we both bought into that, and we have the ambition that we have, and what you're gonna be, and you're not doing anything illegal. You're trying to go up the corporate route of I'm gonna get my degree, I'm gonna go get a job. It's a losing fucking battle. Like, you can't, like, you will not make it. Then having a family, then having kids, then having a wife. Like if you want to have a wife, you're the breadwinner and she works at home, like, you can't do that. They both have to work. So to me, I'm so happy to listen to my parents' advice. Because if it was up to them, go to school and go get a job and benefits, Merry Christmas. Woo! Yay, we did it, guys. Woohoo!
1,000
bonus. We got it. I got 80 cents increase on my hourly wage. Pop the champagne. And this isn't not meant for me to talk bad or criticize, but it's like we were both raised like that. We didn't have a daddy who was making millions a year, who risked it all, and now he's living this lifestyle and he's got a Benz in the driveway and he owns a business and he's got staff and he understands what's needed. I was never born in that. So when I talk about poverty or from middle class to wealth, there was a lot of beliefs that needed to be changed. And that's why going into the door-to-door realm and the commission realm has kind of made us who we are. But there's a lot of beliefs, which is like, if you want to become rich, it's either you got to win the lottery. This was always a big thing. Hey, if we win the lottery, guys, like, I have uncles and aunts and family members, if we would have conversations on it, if we win the lottery, I'm taking everyone to Mexico. It's like, this is the pipe dream that we're buying. And then they show up to a job that they hate. They're waiting for 4 or 5 o'clock so they can go home. You barely got enough money in the bank. It's like everything is don't spend too much money. And there was a lot of beliefs. To go make money, it's either you have to be very lucky, or you have to do it illegally. Or when you make a lot of money, then you're a bad guy. Then so there was all this stuff that needed to be changed. And when we talk about identity, your identity had to switch, bro. Because this is my 2 cents. I think you made all this money, and then you're like, holy fuck, and then you just start spending it just as quickly. Because the identity hasn't leveled up yet. So you've made all this money. It's like the reason why lottery winners, actually the perfect example, lottery winners, I don't know what the exact number is, 9 out of 10 people either lose it all or just create all this debt after winning all this money. Because the identity isn't there. Now you have the identity, bro. Sorry, not to add on, but like now that you're 28 and you're stable, a lot more stable, and you've been humbled, it's like the money's coming in and you can see it differently. You're operating differently.
100%, man. And you said about beliefs. I mean, it's the thoughts that we're given when we're young because we see it and that's what we think. And those thoughts turn into the beliefs, and those beliefs are going to turn into the actions that we take, and the actions are going to form into the habits that we have in our lives. And sometimes we're in a down loop habit cycle of just negative stuff that's destructive. And a lot of the times, this is like the biggest thing. I just did a meeting for it with my sales guys literally yesterday, and I was like, what is a good day? What's a bad day? What's a great day? A lot of us don't know what a good day, bad day, and a great day is, especially if our thoughts, beliefs then turn into actions and our habits are in the right place. We don't know what categorizes a good day, bad day, and a great day. And sometimes, not sometimes, 100% when we don't have those good habits, we move into a downward spiral of bad days. And that's where we build that negative momentum, and then we just crash and burn. And a lot of guys do that in their lives. And again, the same thing as you said, we're not attacking individuals that chose that route. Some people aren't meant to open up a business. Some people aren't willing to risk it all, and it's okay. Society wouldn't operate the way it does if we didn't have individuals that that they just wanted to go to school and get an education, right? I'm not talking bad about that. What I'm saying though is, and I'm sure you're saying the same thing, if you're an individual that desires more, that feels like they have a chip on their shoulder, that wants to accomplish great things in life, that wants to leave a footprint, a legacy, and change the financial path of his family, her family, for future generations to come, to put yourself in a place where you're building generational wealth so your kids don't have to work. They don't want to. They will work because of the beliefs that you instill into them. However, they're not going to be in financial turmoil like we were growing up, where we weren't able to, okay, Dad, I need $50,000 because I believe in this. I've been studying it for 2 years instead of focusing on what my teachers taught me. Let's go. Cool, son. It just propels your future generations. That's what it's all about, So I feel we as individuals and everybody, coming into the game, if you desire that great thing, the first thing that I would do is find out what a good day, what a bad day, and what a great day looks like for you. And not just, oh yeah, I had a good day, go to bed, you know, today was a good day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about putting fucking metrics on it, you know? If you're in a place where you're learning an industry, okay, what are the metrics that categorize a great day for that industry that you're in, that you're learning about? You know what I mean? Tie it to a fucking number. If you're in sales, what's the number of sales? What's the number of presentations? What's the number of people you need to talk to? What's the number of individuals you need to sit down with, phone calls that you need to make? You know, just, you know, how many hours do you need to be out there? You know, what are the lead measures that you need to focus on that's gonna make a great day? Now, what is a bad day? And what is an okay day, right? We gotta have metrics tied to that. So yeah, I think we were talking about, you know, school, this, that. There's people that don't want to open up a business, and that's okay. You know, the individuals that we're talking to is people that actually want to attain greatness in their lives, you know, and we haven't attained greatness yet, but I'm damn right and I'm damn sure that you and I are both not going to stop until we achieve greatness. It doesn't matter if I achieve it 5 years from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, 15, 20. The good thing is that because of that door-to-door aspect, I'm used to getting doors slammed in my fucking face, you know what I mean? And so are you, you know, many fucking times. So it doesn't matter how many years it takes, we're not gonna stop, you know what I mean? So, I mean, listen, what it really comes down to is just hard work, dedication, and if you feel like you have it, just don't let it go to shame.
Well, look, if we look at, like, you come from would you say like an Eastern European background?
Yeah.
They're very tough men there, or I would say so, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Right, and then I think
I was born on the soft side, but we are tough. I'm kidding.
But if you look at one of the conversations we were having earlier, the Western culture is very soft.
Oh, soft.
And I think the reason why, how do I say this in the nicest way possible? We've excelled from the average. Are you 28?
27, turning 28 September 6th.
Nice, so you're 94, so I'm 93. But I think for our generation, I don't want to say this in an arrogant way, but I think we're a step ahead, not just financially, but even like mentally on a mature level, because I think because of rejection, and the topic that I want to talk about is rejection. Okay. I think the problem with our society is people haven't got rejected enough. They haven't got enough doors slammed in their face, and what happens is they don't face enough failure, enough F-offs, get out of my face. We don't care about you. And I think the parents have, you know, maybe they had straight, like for example, I'll just take my parents. My nonna was very tough on my mom. So my mom goes, I'm gonna be softer on my kids. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is that turns out to create this, I hate to say it, but this pussy generation. So we're very soft, we don't want to get embarrassed, we don't want to make ourselves look bad, so they don't take a lot of risks. So they're living with mommy and daddy till they're 30, till they're 35. They're complaining about the government, they're complaining about X, Y, and Z. Guys like me and you, I know myself, I don't look for anyone to make me successful. Guaranteed. Like I don't look at Doug or Trudeau and these guys are the reason why I'm going to be successful. I don't look at the economy's down, I'll go knock some doors. like it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. But I think that's why I think we've become successful. Is like I've knocked for like 5 years. I know you've probably knocked longer than me, but like I guarantee I've knocked at least 100,000 doors. I've been inside 15,000 homes. Like I've experienced so much. And when I started knocking doors, I realized that people don't care about me, man. And I had to create this personality that made people want to listen to me. You know, so the idea of, oh, I stuttered, no one gives a shit. Oh my God, no, my God, let me hear what you have to say. And even if the person answered the door like, oh, you have a stutter? Okay, let me listen. They're not gonna buy from me anyway. Like it doesn't matter. Like, unless I'm selling charity. Unless I'm selling charity, right? But it's like, so what hit me in the face, because before I used my stutter as like, feel bad for me, you know, I talk to some people, it's like they should hire me because I have a stutter, because I have a disability, because there's an issue, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. Now it's like, because of my door-to-door experience, I've built this character of like, dude, I know no one cares about me. I have to sell myself to you. I have to do everything I can to better myself. We have to both make sure that we're both staying fit, you know? We have to make sure that we get a cut every 2 weeks, right? I have to make sure I'm leveling up my marketing. I have to make sure that my clients are getting successful. I like, it doesn't matter about anything, and I think the shift in both of our minds is no one's gonna give us anything. I have to go, no one's gonna knock on my door. I have to go knock on their door.
Guaranteed. I mean, rejection knocking on doors, knocking on the door of opportunity is just massive. You know, they said, you said one thing, and I just wanted to briefly talk about it for a second. It slipped my mind, but it was such a good point in my mind that I wanted to make. Oh, there you go. Good times lead to weak men, and bad times lead to strong men. And because we experience bad times in our life, especially growing up, always feeling like we have less than the people around us, you know, we developed into strong men. You know what I mean? And rejection is a key factor in life in general. I mean, I got rejected by every single woman that I proposed to. I'm kidding, except for my wife. Okay, I only proposed to one woman, you know. But you know, you just get rejected in every single aspect of life, and that rejection, that fear of rejection, stops people from actually even taking a chance on themselves. You know what I mean? I think the biggest sickness in people's minds nowadays, and I even catch myself doing it now, is not believing in yourself. You know what I mean? When you don't believe in yourself, that means that rejection, that fear, the false evidence appearing real thing, it's really fucking appearing real. And what I learned the most from, you know, guys like David Goggins, guys like Grant Cardone, guys like Les Brown, guys like what's called Jocko Willink, pain will drive change. Right? And if we're not operating towards pain, we're not moving in the right fucking direction. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just like yourself, when you started in the stutter, I remember when I first met you, you didn't even really talk. You just had your AirPods in, just listening to personal development. And that's where you had one up on me. I wasn't listening to personal development like you. You were on it. Like, we were all chilling in the hotel rooms. Yeah. And it's what got you to where you're at. You know what I mean? And it's sometimes.
But I was quiet too because I didn't want to communicate.
Exactly. Oh, that too. But I didn't even know that. The fuck thing is when I first met you, I didn't know you had a stutter. Yeah. Because you didn't talk. You know what I'm saying? You didn't talk, and it's crazy. And now it's like, you know, you went to a complete 180, and people think it's overnight. Yeah. And people always think, you know, success happens overnight, but it doesn't. It took you 8 years, 9 years to have an overnight success. Yeah. A lot of people then start in the position where you're at 9 years ago, 10 years ago. They're like, why am I not this guy? This is another flaw I feel like I had a lot. And I feel like a lot of people have a lot as well. They're comparing themselves to other people that are on a different chapter in life than they are. You can't compare yourself when you're on chapter 1 to a person that's at their chapter 8. It's just a different part of the book. You started writing your book too late. You didn't start writing your book in time. Whatever it is, you started writing your book today. It doesn't matter. At least you fucking started. But comparing yourself to an individual that's been putting in 10 years of grind, dedication, hustle, work, this, that, to where they're at, you know what I mean? It just puts you in a place where you're depressed, you know? And you start being hard on yourself. And it's good to be hard on yourself, but it's not good to be like, you piece of shit, like, why aren't you winning? Why aren't you winning? No, you want to be constructive with yourself and expect more from yourself, you know? And I feel like, you know, comparing yourself to others is great, but not in a negative aspect. There's a fine line, you know what I mean? There's a fine line. It's like, oh, this guy, admiring someone, okay, this guy is 10 years in the game. I admire what you have done. I'm comparing myself into a place where I want to be where you are at that point in time. Like, if you're looking at a guy, there's this guy named Simon Arias. He did $60 million in business last year. He runs an insurance agency of 500 plus guys. He's just crushing it. He's 38 years old, been in the game for 16 years. I don't even want to talk about the money he's making. He's a crazy guy. I looked at him the other day, and I'm like, there's two ways I can look at this guy. I should have what this guy has. You know, I should be where this guy is. But the grown-up, humble version of me that I've thankfully developed the last 3-4 years, like, I need to learn from this guy to get to where he's at his chapter of life. And hopefully, God willing, he blesses me enough that I do it earlier. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it is when it comes down to it. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, man, I rant a lot. It is what it is.
No, dude, this is what this whole podcast is about. You know what? And another thing is, I feel like both of us weren't the smartest people in the room. Like, I know even myself back in like elementary and high school, you know how like you had like if you look at elementary, you had like the gifted kids. I know now they got rid of that program because, you know, it's we're all smart, yay. We all get a ribbon, yay. But
Such
there's
a bad
no,
culture.
no, such a, yay, we're all the same. Wow. And I get it, because then you had some kids that, well, I feel dumb. This is the thing with me and you, which is like, we had pain of like, we weren't the smartest guys in the room. Like I had a stutter, so I didn't speak a lot, so people didn't think I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you kind of went through. But then you had like the smart kids, and they're like, yeah, this guy's gonna become a doctor when he grows up. This guy's gonna be so successful, or this girl, da-da-da. Wow, you're so smart. And yeah, I feel like the path I went down, it was like a lot of it I had to prove myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right? There's like I think we're kind of missing that aspect of like, wow, we're all smart. We're all equal. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm actually lucky that I had a stutter and I had an issue with my speech, because I had to prove to every motherfucker out there that I knew what I was talking about. So I put myself in door to door. Whereas some people who are gifted naturally and they're really good speakers, they didn't have to work as hard, right? It's like genetics, right? Like I don't have the best genetics to lift muscle. Whereas I have some friends who like, they start lifting and it's like they're shredded already, you know? It is what it is.
Yeah. It's facts, man.
It is what it is, bro. And it's like, so what? So what? We're all different people. So what? So, and what I love about door to door is, I love when people go to me, they go, man, I can't find work. Shut your face.
Like, I know 20 door-to-door agencies are hiring everybody. You can talk? Hop on.
Oh my God, it's so hard to find work. No, it isn't.
You just don't want to do what you're required to do.
Exactly.
To win. That's what it is, man.
And all goes back to the idea of like, there's no excuse. Like we're two people. Like there's no issue so bad that I have to throw everything, or I can't do it. Like it's never, this is too hard. It's never, I can't make it work. It's never, even if you have a bad day or a bad week or a bad neighborhood or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like, we're still showing up the next day. And that is the mindset that is needed, that I think is lacking in our generation today, brother.
Really quickly, I'm sorry to cut you off. You just said neighborhood, area. That's such a key thing I feel like sales puts you in, because whatever it comes down to, I feel like door-to-door is a little bit different and special when it comes to sales, because some guys get leads, some guys get this, some guys get that. It's sales, but you didn't really go hunt and kill what you hunted, you know what I'm saying? You didn't really go hunt and find that prey, right? In a non-predatory way. But what I'm trying to say is, really quickly on that point, is you get put into an area that you're foreign to, you've never been there, and you have to find a way to win, you know? You have to burn the ships. No one's coming to pick you up, especially when you're brand new to the industry. You're getting dropped off. I got dropped off first day, -4 weather. Figure it out.
I'll see you in 8 hours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what are you gonna do? You have two options: sit on the side of the curb and do fucking nothing. Yeah. The second option is find a way to win. And I feel like that comes down to that pain that we had growing up. Me, I had no confidence growing up. I didn't have a father in my life, didn't have a role. What I mean by father, I don't want to take the pity card, but just looking from a psychological standpoint, mentors are so important in life. Mentors are so key in life, you know what I mean? And that's what the father is there to do. He's there to mentor you in a certain way, at least to teach you how to be a man. And I didn't have a mentor. I got taught how to be a man by women, which didn't make logical sense, you know? It didn't work out so well until I was like 18 that I actually figured out what a man was. But my point is that I didn't grow up with too much confidence. So, coming into that first day in the field, first couple of days in the first years in the field, I'm sure it's the same with you. It's like, we got put into so many environments that we weren't comfortable in, and we just had to win because we had no other option. When you have no other, this is a big fucking L that a lot of people take. When you have too many options and you can't focus on one fucking thing. Have you ever read the book, The One Thing? It's a powerful book, it's a powerful book. And a lot of people can't focus on one thing. And what happens is they start to chase two different hens and they don't end up chasing either hen. You're just fucking running around in circles, right? So a lot of people can't focus on what they need to do. They can't accomplish anything because they're not lasered in on one target. If you don't have a preset map, if you don't have a blueprint, at least have a target of where you're going. A blind person, a blind person can still get somewhere just by thinking of where he needs to go. He might not be walking the right way, but he's getting somewhere. You know what I mean? And us starting off in the industry, bro, like we got put into so many environments. Door to door, it can be either something that you can grow a massive business in and stay in for a long time, or it can be something that you learn massively from and you take that skill set to a different business. And I suggest everybody does door to door. Like, I'm putting my kids into fucking door to door right away. But to end off, last thing I'll say on that note is that we got put into environments so many times where we had to figure out how to win. Now, growing up 7, 8, 9 years later, we're like, it doesn't matter the environment I'm in. As long as they speak English, as long as somebody can speak English, and if they don't, like, fuck, I'll learn the language. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning freaking Russian right now. There's an app called Pimsleur. It's fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter what the environment we're in now, country we're in, space we're in. We're gonna find a way to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that is what is needed. So let's talk about some heated topics. What's the problem with Canada right now?
Canada right now, they're focused on the workforce and not the businesses. And what happens to that is you focus on dependent culture instead of an independent culture. That's what I feel. All the tax rules, I don't complain about taxes, but for example, my business in Texas, I pay 21% tax. That's it.
And what's it here? Like, what's the
40, 45, 43. That's what you're paying. If you're making anything over 150K a year, even as a business, you're just getting raped. You know what I mean? You have to literally, I don't even know if we want to put this on. Fuck it, nobody's gonna look at it from the government. I don't know. You almost have to not hide your money, but you have to spend everything in your business so you don't get taxed on an exorbitant amount of money. So like at the end of each year, I'm trying to just funnel my money into property, into investments, so I don't get taxed. You can't even sit on money nowadays because you lose half of it if you sit on it. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to sit on it, but you got to really be smart about it, right? So, problem with Canada, man. There's this, there's that. COVID's affecting the whole world. There's stuff happening in Austria right now, which is crazy. $15,000 euro fine to everybody who's not vaccinated, and I'm not pro-vax, anti-vax, nothing like that. What I am is pro-choice. You gotta fucking be able to choose what the hell you want to do with your life. God gave you free will. Over my dead body, someone's gonna take that away from me. That's how I feel. So I support the truckers. I support freedom. I support whatever they're fighting for, but I feel like it's a bigger thing. I'm not gonna try to talk conspiracies now, but I feel that there's a much bigger thing. Like, I'm super deep into Joe Rogan, but not even Joe Rogan. I've done a lot of digging. I'm a guy that's not really conspiracy anymore because everything's coming fucking true, But everything's happening around the world. But the thing is, Canada specifically is just really, really trying to turn into we're already a socialist country right now. We're literally trying to turn into that next China. It's just what it is, Social credit system's not far away. We think it's far away. The passports were the initial trials for a social credit proof system, right? And it's just gonna happen, And the sad part is, we can't stop it, unfortunately. We can try to protest in this, but let me tell you.
Well, I think the U.S., if the U.S. falls, we just fall.
We fall. The thing with the U.S., they have guns, right? They have a lot of guns, right? Texas has a lot of guns. These guys are armed.
But the people in Texas, they don't mess around. Like, I've never gotten to know Texas.
Yeah.
Like, you hear a lot about Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
But it's just a different way of thinking out there, right?
Yeah, it's. I love it. But on the door side, some guys answer the door with some guns.
What y'all doing here? Y'all want to get inside my house? You better get off my property.
No, it's bad.
No, but like a Dallas is obviously more blue, but I feel like Texas as a whole is a fairly red state. But the line of, for example, I always give this example of, if you talk to everyone in your neighborhood, like whether we're in Burlington right now or Mississauga or Toronto, compared to if you talk to a whole neighborhood somewhere in Texas, the people would think differently.
100%.
And what difference would it be?
The major difference is they stand for what they believe in more. A lot of people here in Canada, they might believe in something, but because of the culture of thinking Canada is the best place ever, because a lot of them are immigrants. You know, I'm an immigrant, and thank God Canada was a safe haven for my family. I don't take it away, but the Canada 20 years ago and the Canada now is day and night, you know?
You think so?
I think so. I think it's day and night. I think, you know, just with everything happening, we're going through a downward spiral. So I feel like people in Canada, right now I'm grateful to see people standing up for what they believe in, but down in the States, down in Texas specifically, if people believe in something, they're standing by it. They will die before their beliefs and freedoms get taken away, because they've experienced civil war. You know, they have that history of not this generation, but the past. But that, like I was talking about, beliefs, they were passed down through their families. You know what I mean? The beliefs of, hey, stand for what you believe in. Here, we came into Canada. It's like, yeah, you have the people that were born in Canada generations and generations and generations. And, you know, those people some people are great. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but majority of Canada is immigrants. You know what I mean? And I'm an immigrant. I'm not saying anything bad about immigrants. It's just, they're thinking Canada is the best place. Yeah, exactly. They're thinking Canada is the best place in the world. And you're like, you know what? The government knows best. Instead of, even if I believe something different, but you know what? I'm not going to speak out about the situation. I'm going to be reserved. In Texas, they speak the fuck out, you know? And if they don't speak out, they show out. You know, they come ready. And, you know, I believe in guns and I don't believe in guns at the same time. I'm kind of split on that topic.
I do understand it. Like,
Yeah.
you want to take over a society or a country, take away their guns.
Yeah.
Like, if I was the military or police force and I had to take over Texas, and you had all these people in homes with guns, that's a scary game to play.
One of my mentors in insurance, he's like, yeah, you see this AR? He's like, I'm a professional duck hunter. This guy duck hunts 3 days out of the week.
Like, I would be freaking out,
bro.
Imagine like
crazy.
go to Texas, guys, we're taking it over, blah blah blah. I feel like a lot of people are like, fuck that, no chance. But you come into like a Burlington, oh, no worries, guys, come on inside.
Oh, you want to take all my money?
No worries.
You want my wife too? Come on, buddy.
So
my
bad.
kids, get ready.
It's so bad. But no, so I understand that. And I know in Australia, they did that in the 90s where they gave back all their guns. And I get the other point, which is like there's more gun violence. But like New York has a lot of gun violence. Chicago has a lot of gun violence.
Toronto has a freaking gang war happening in Toronto right now. It's been going on. The gun violence in Toronto is retarded. People are talking about it, but are not really talking about it. What happens is when you take away guns, this is where I'm split at, and I'm kind of leaning towards the gun side. Because what happens is when you take away the guns out of a society, the guys with the guns come with the power. So now if you have a gun and you're walking around the street, you think you are the hot shit, you know? But on the flip side, in Texas, everybody and his cousin has a gun down there. An 18-year-old, you don't even need a license. You walk into a place, I need a gun. Here you go.
Isn't that scary?
It is scary.
Isn't that why they had the school shootings? This is what they say. All the school shootings, all this bad stuff. And so we got to take away the guns.
There's a flip side to everything.
Because I personally, I think it's more safer in Dallas, Texas than Chicago.
Oh, for sure.
And in Chicago, they got very strict gun laws.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Yep.
In a New York.
Yep.
But I'd be safer in like an Austin, Texas.
Yep. For real. And it is what it is. The places that have those shootings, I mean, you're gonna have problems that arise in any society. You know, problems are just going to happen. You just got to pick your problems. And we've had shootings here in Canada. You know, we've had, you know, the lockdown measures we always practice in schools. You know, there's been issues in Canada. You know, for sure, less than Texas. You know, you have that in Texas, but those are a few tyrannical people that cause that massive issue. But people aren't talking about it. During those shootings, rest in peace to everybody that passed away. You have like 5, 10, 15 people that die for sure, right? But then you look at the flip side of people are dying every day on the streets in Toronto, for example, every day because the guys with the guns have the power, so they're just hunting the guys that don't have the guns. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's such a split topic, I feel, but they've proven in places like Toronto, the Ontario in Canada, places like Chicago, New York, where there's strict gun laws, it doesn't solve crime. It's not like the crime disappears. They're gonna get the guns in there some way, somehow, you know? Down in Texas, at least you're walking around, you're thinking twice, unless you're a mentally insane individual, you're thinking twice before you pull out your gun. You're thinking twice, because you, in your mind, the other guy has a gun. You know what I mean? So if you pull it out, he pulls it out. Who's gonna win? You know? So that's kind of the narrative that you gotta think about there, you know what I'm saying?
My God.
But yeah, man, I can go about conspiracy
how
and
is
guns.
Texas? Like, would you live there?
I'm moving there, March 15th. March 15th, I get my business visa, and
5 years, right?
5 years, but you can go to residency. But it's 5 years, but it's never ending as long as your business is still operational and you're meeting the 5 year, the 5 year, the yearly, but really 5 year employment quota.
Which is what?
Which is for the first 5 years, you want to make sure you have 2 employees on salary. My goal is more than that, but anyways, 2 employees minimum for every 5 years, and your business has to be operational. And as long as that's the case, you have a business visa for yourself, your family, any dependents, and you can give as many visas as you want to anybody that is deemed an essential employee to the company. And that kind of enables you to cross gray lines, right?
Well, dude, the amount of people I've seen, like on TikTok, for example, of like another soul leaving Canada and they're like going to Miami.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it so many times.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. It's hard to migrate. It's hard to migrate unless you want to do it illegally.
Well, you have to get the business visa.
Yeah, but a lot of people can't get the business visa. You have to invest $100,000 plus into your business for you to qualify for that.
5 years.
No. You have, before you apply for it, you have to invest $100,000 into your business.
US or Canadian?
US. Into your business to get the visa. But here's the thing. There's people think, oh, investment, that's a lot of money. Payroll for employees, commissions for reps, marketing material, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, cars, that's a marketing thing, especially for our type of industry, office space. It doesn't have to be up front. It can be over a spread amount of time, more than likely about a year. You have about 11 months and 28 days that you can stay there without getting red flagged by the states. And over that time, if you invest $100,000 into your business, you know, you get a good lawyer, you're gonna be allowed in. As long as you don't have a criminal record, you can get into the States. But a lot of people are doing it wrong, where they're just going there and they're gonna see what happens. And I did that. Honestly, they're not doing it wrong. I did that when I first started, and people are kind of scared. Like, how do I go into the States and make money? It's not hard. You go to the States, you open up a business, and now you're able to make money legally and pay taxes legally. You're not legally able to work, but you can operate and oversee your business.
How do we fix Canada? If
You fix Canada.
do you think Trudeau or Doug? Do you think they're good leaders or bad leaders?
Horrible leaders, because they don't practice what they preach. You know, if you say when they have no integrity.
But they're going through a lot of pressure, man. Like, there's a lot of pressure on them.
There's a lot of pressure because you're trying to oppose what the common sense thing is to do. You know what I mean? There's thousands of doctors going out and speaking against on how, like for example, when vaccines came out, 100% efficacy. Every single month, I feel like every single month, 98%, 97%, 90%, 80%, 70%, 40%, 30%, 20% effective. Now you need a booster. Now this. But they're still continuing the stupid narrative that this is the only way that you can do what you can do and get healthy in your life. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about anybody who believes in that. It is what it is. It's your choice. But how do you fix Canada? I'm not a freaking political expert, but I believe that businesses create jobs, businesses create wealth, and wealth is not the key to happiness. However, I was much happier crying in my Aston Martin driving to a meeting than in a bus getting to a meeting. I was just much happier, right? So wealth doesn't fix all the issues, but it helps the quality of life of an individual when they have money. If you don't focus on money, money doesn't expand and you just stay broke forever. So the people that are like, money doesn't matter, eat my shit, money matters, right? Money 100% matters, but it's not the only thing in life. There you have God, you have family, you have all these things, but imagine what you can do with all the money that you create. It's a tool. It's not something to be idolized, but it's a tool to help so many people. And that's the way that I kind of switched my, before I used to, idolize money, and that was kind of my God in my life until I was like 23. Wow. But then I realized, A
lot of rappers say that.
Do they?
Yeah, God is,
God.
or or money is my religion.
Yeah, it's retarded. It's retarded because, false idol, whoever has their beliefs or whatever, I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. It is what it is. And my goal is to preach the word of the Lord.
Is that new in your life?
No, I was a Christian when I was 12, but I didn't really know Christ until I was probably 24, 25. Wow. Yeah, so, and I feel like God always broke me down to get me closer to him, because if he didn't break me down the last time, I wouldn't have met my wife, and my wife brought me closer to God, She got me closer to God because she got closer to my mom. My mom is a firm believer. She's a godly woman. She has a woman of faith, and she just brought me closer to God. So how do you fix Canada, to answer your question? I say believe in God. Whoever your God is, I'm not going to tell you who your God is. My God is my God, and you go on to the basis of what this country was founded on. Country of the free, country that believes in God, that's what fuels everything. So on that note, it's to be kind, to give people freedom of choice. Also, how do you fix the country? Focus on the fucking businesses. It's not.
Why, man? We should focus on the old people dying.
Bro, it's not.
Or the people with the underlying conditions.
It's not.
Why are you laughing, bro?
It's not a fucking mystery why everybody's leaving California and going to Texas and Florida. It's not a mystery.
Those are just the crazies, like the Elon Musk. He's crazy.
Bro.
The Joe Rogan, they're crazy. They're conspiracy theorists. He's going to get canceled very soon.
No, he's not going to get canceled. He makes Spotify way too much fucking money. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be on Spotify soon. But what I'm trying to say is, how do you fix Canada? We start focusing on businesses. That's it. Right now, the reason I've been always looking to get into the States and finally now legally allowed in the States, I've been going back and forth for the last 5 years, planting roots in my business, growing it over time and time. But now I'm going down there with the business visa. It's because here in Canada, you can grow a business. Any environment you can win. Any environment you can win. I want to make that clear to you guys. But the ease compared to this country, and the country 30 miles just south of the fucking lake over there, is day and night, bro.
I know.
The
well,
ease
like
to
the
make
hockey games, like seeing like the Leafs, just like with an empty stadium, and they go to Florida and it's like packed. I know. I think this is the reason why there's an uprising right now, because people are like, okay, guys, and Doug's even said it. He's like, in North America we have the strictest restrictions in North America, period. So I mean, I don't know about Austria, but now they're
it's just Europe has always been a very conflicted area, like my part of the world.
Well, that's
There's been
the
a war
idea.
forever.
Well, what they're saying is we need to be more like Europe.
Yeah. No.
I know what I'm saying. That's what
that's what they're saying.
That's what we'll say is like, the U.S. needs to be more like Europe.
That's Biden. That's Biden talking. Is the guy.
Well, I would say it's more social.
Socialist.
Yeah, like they're not completely socialist, right? But they have the tendencies of higher taxes, and we help out everyone. Whereas, in Texas, it's like I feel like the mindset over there is like it's up to you. Like, the government's not going to take care of you as much as maybe.
Yeah, I'll see you in Texas soon, man. We'll talk after the thing. We'll work out a quick visa situation.
My thing is, and no, I've the last guy who I had on the show, Darren, the exact same thing. My old mentor said the exact same thing. So I'm considering it. I'm close. Like, family's important to me.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that's really keeping me here. I think what I would do is probably buy one of my clients. We're thinking about buying a home in Jacksonville and turning it into an Airbnb, and it gives me a reason to go out there, and I just book it myself to just, that's the idea. Mm-hmm. But I like Texas, like the big highways. But I'll be honest, like the reason why I'm even doing a podcast like this is because I want to be around other like-minded people. Sometimes I feel like I'm the crazy person.
Yeah.
Like what do it's like, like I felt like there was a point I felt like, I don't know if you're vaccinated, but there was a lot of pressure constantly all the time. I got vaccinated. But it wasn't because I was scared of dying. Just the social pressure and that aspect of like, you take away the gym, everyone, like my sister just got married on this weekend. If you weren't vaccinated, you weren't showing up to the wedding, and I was the best man. So there's all this pressure from my whole family, and it wasn't like, oh no, I'm gonna die of COVID. Like, dude, like.
No, my sister didn't let us come over to Christmas at her house.
I know, and this is, and I know.
Families against each other.
I don't want to talk about politics, but I don't know if it's politics. I think we're talking about society. How do we make the society better? You know, it's like, and I think that's because in door to door, just as in business, your goal and my goal is one thing: fix problems.
Yeah.
Like I'm a solution-oriented person.
Yes.
So even when I bring on guests, like how do we make things better? How do we improve society? You know, right now the truth is we're very divided.
Yeah.
Even me just saying this, I can see some people in the comments section saying, you know, he's an anti-vaxxer, he blah blah blah. Da, da. And listen, I know as I get bigger, the cancel culture is going to come after me. Like look what they did with Rogan.
Yeah.
12 years of podcasts, they clipped out certain things where he's quoting people. He's not doing it in a racist way. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
12 years of podcasts.
The guy comes with so much value.
And he comes with so much value, he got so much love, and they're turning him into a monster. Because if he's quoting artists, he's quoting Chris.
X said whoever controls the media, whoever has the power.
And I think that's the problem with our society. I don't know if we're gonna bounce back, bro. I think we're very divided right now.
I think
Rome
had an uprising. Rome fell, right?
Well, but who's gonna fall? Is it the Chinese that's gonna take over the whole world?
I don't know, man. I'm not. I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer in. You know, I don't want to sound like the doomsayer, but there's a lot of things that are happening right now that said that it was going to happen. You know, and I feel like you know the U.S. is on a decline. What's his name? Dan Pena just came out with a thing that said Putin owns Bitcoin. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
Yeah. And it made a lot. He's like, Putin owns Bitcoin. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, it makes sense.
You know
this guy
what?
doesn't bullshit.
Because he had a
doesn't
video.
bullshit.
He had a video about like if you knew who started
Yeah,
Bitcoin,
yeah.
you would be disgusted or
All
whatever.
the elites know. All the elites know. And he said that. I'm like, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Because who would have made it all?
Because how do you destroy a country? You take away its currency. Now they have no power. If they don't have, if the US dollar is worth shit, what power do we have across the world?
Oh my
It's fucked.
God.
It's actually fucked.
And listen, for all the viewers, this is what real talk is supposed to be about. These are real conversations. Are we right?
Who the fuck knows?
You know, do we got to be fact checked? Sure, I get that. This is what a real conversation's about. Right? This is what real conversation's about. The world's gonna end. And the thing is, like, I have so many friends and we talk about things like this.
Yeah.
And I just hear everyone out. So let's record it.
Yeah, fuck it. You know, why not?
Let's talk about it.
Fuck it.
Who cares?
Makes sense, man.
And the idea is like, if you get upset at this, like, relax.
It's not that serious.
Like this whole about misinformation or
probably gonna get
I need
tagged.
to
We're
say,
probably
I don't
gonna
know.
get tagged by
We'll
CDC.
find out. We're too small right now. But this whole censor idea, like this is what makes us human beings. The fact that we can just like talk about this stuff.
100%, man.
And just be, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Hey, this is and
people are afraid to say what they're thinking.
but that's
the
why
issue.
I know however this turns out is however it turns out.
We
but
have no
it's
control.
but let's have a conversation.
Guaranteed.
We need to have a guest where they're completely left.
Yeah.
Like on a line of thinking for you,
Yeah.
you know, you're more right thinking.
Oh, for sure.
Let's get someone who 100% believes in jag meat and jag meat needs to run all of Canada. Let's bring that person on.
Yeah.
And because that's what this is meant to be about. How do you solve a problem? How do you solve a problem is, or when two people are upset, how do you fix that? Communicate.
It's the only way.
Talk it out.
It's the only
Get
way.
two people in the room. Don't talk about it with other people. You bring those two people and communication
issue.
is the solvent
Yes.
to the problem.
Yes.
So in my eyes, how do you fix Canada? We need to communicate more. And we need to have not people power trip.
Yeah, I should have asked you, what do you think about fixing Canada is?
Yeah, I don't know yet. And I'm not at a place right now. I have a lot of buddies who will go to the protests, will do everything they can on social media and da. I'm not at that stage in my life yet. I'll have these podcasts. We'll have like real conversations.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, my business and me helping people overcome stuttering, speak with confidence, grow their businesses, that is my only focus right now. So even the whole idea of like, how do we fix Canada? I don't know, and it's not my focus. It's not my priority.
Guaranteed.
And I understand. I can hear people go, "Well, if you don't fix it, we're gonna be effed." 10 years from now?
That's their belief.
That's their belief. And maybe when I'm 35, maybe when I'm 42, I go, you know what? I'm gonna go into politics. I'm financially good.
Yeah.
I got a lot of assets.
Yeah.
I can basically retire.
Yeah.
I don't need to show up for a check every single week. You know, right now I'm in that place where I'm in expansion mode. I'm in investing mode. I got to make sure that everything is growing. I make sure that my team knows the role. Maybe when I've started X amount of businesses, we got a bunch of assets and and I can be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to spend a couple $1 million to go on a campaign run. When that happens, it happens. I also believe in society. I think majority of us are fairly logical, and I think things will curve itself out. Like if you look at American politics, they go left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right, right? They go Bush, Obama. They go Trump, then they go Biden. So I feel like there's like this curve of things usually work out. But I'm not gonna get stressed over this stuff.
Guaranteed.
I think there's a lot of people, dude, that go a little bit crazy right now.
What you focus on expands, you know? You and I know this very well. What you focus on expands. And my wife always says, why are you watching the news? I actually never watched the news in my whole entire life before. And
COVID, man, got all of us into the news.
I watch the news because it's amusing.
It's entertainment.
You guys are idiots.
It's like a drama TV show. You're like, oh my God, gee, they said what?
Like, I can't believe this is actually happening. It's just hilarious, you know? And this is the wrong point why you shouldn't watch the news. It gives you fear. You know, and a scared mind is not a productive mind, and it's not going to go anywhere from that. But if you're watching the news and you're like, this is actually just fucking hilarious, and I'm just watching it for amusement for like 5-10 minutes. I want to see what this fat piece of shit talked about on the thing. No,
we might have to bleep some words out.
Sorry guys.
Maybe the retard word, maybe a fat piece of shit.
My bad. But yeah, what I'm saying, that's when I watch the news, but a lot of people focus on it so much and they put their life into, they're like, oh, who's running for, I haven't voted once in my life. I actually haven't voted once in my life. Have you ever voted? Of course. Okay, good for you. I feel like I should vote
Back
now.
in the day, I just voted whatever my dad said, but now, like with the last election, I think we all should have voted.
I think I should have voted for sure.
Now I'm more educated. I'm like, you better go and vote.
I never voted because I'm like, fuck it, whatever happens. I'm just gonna keep doing what I need to do and focus on what I need to focus on. Hey, buddy, you want to talk about politics? We'll talk about politics. Yeah, what's it called? I just need to focus on what I need to focus on. You know what I'm saying? You're probably the same, like you said. You're focused on your business.
That's it. Like and it's the one thing goes back to the one thing.
Yeah. Are you focused on the government? Focused on your left foot, right foot, that foot, this foot, his foot? You know what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck? Like, just focus on what feeds your family. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know I swear a lot, my bad. I have this problem when I talk to my guys too.
I'm in the same way. I feel like in sales, you just.
I need to actually get better. I think it's.
We all do. Yeah. We all do. Fucking fuck.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
I got some questions for you, and let's kind of run through them. First question: What's your morning routine?
Wake up every single morning. Gyms are closed for a while, but as long as gyms are open, I wake up every single morning. I jump on a rebounder. It's like a mini trampoline to get my lymphatic system like just moving, and it clears out all that toxic stuff, gets your body moving. It's really good for your cardiovascular system and your veins. So it just shakes up your whole body. Tony Robbins talks about it a lot. Yeah. After that, I do breath work, Wim Hof. It's a series of breaths and a long exhale and then a long inhale. It just relieves stress, gives me focus, gives me clarity. After that, I pray. After that, I go into the cold shower. As soon as the cold shower is done, I go straight to work out. And right after I'm done working out, I sit down and I plan my day by the hour on the hour. So 10 a.m. I'm doing this, 11 a.m. I'm doing this, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, every single day. I feel like if you're not intentional with your day happens to you instead of you making your day happen, you know. I do that and then I get started with my day. I typically wake up 6 a.m. With my new venture, it has me staying up a little bit later than I like to. I'm going to bed at like 11 o'clock now, 12 sometimes, and I can't operate. I know some people say 6 hours. Sleep 6 hours. I've slept 6 hours and I crashed my buddy's Bentley, reversing it. Yeah, I was reversing it, hit the cleaner's car. It was a funny experience. If you know who you are, you know who you are.
We gotta ask, so what cars, I heard Aston Martin, I heard Bentley,
No, so I don't have a Bentley, so down in the States.
what cars have you,
My first ever car was an A7, then
A7 is what I'm saying.
Audi A7, and then Porsche Panamera, then Aston Martin DB7. Oh my God, I'm stupid. Aston Martin DB11, you can see on my Instagram. My bad, guys. DB11, 2017, all black. I love that car. It's my favorite car. That car is what gave me that. I got inspired to drive that car when I watched James Bond when I was like 14-ish. I fucking fell in love with that car. And now I just have a Benz that I'm driving around for the winter here. But down in the States, I still have my vehicle. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. But yeah, that's my morning routine. Yeah.
What's it like? I was gonna ask a question about would you go back to not having much money? What's it like driving nice cars? Do you think
it's you just feel better about it's like a serotonin thing and a euphoric thing. You just feel better about yourself when you're in the environment. You just feel better about yourself when you feel like other people know that this is the guy who you are. It's like coming up. I started in my business. I started business when I was 18. Not really business, but business. It was MLM. It was ACN. I remember busing to.
Remember those days?
Fuck, man.
Verve, man.
Yeah, Verve, bro. You know what I'm talking about? I remember the busing to meetings and business meetings, and it's just like me telling myself I am who I am, and people know who the fuck they're dealing with when I come to an area, And it's I don't care about cars because a car anybody can get. Realistically, you have good credit, you can make $1,000, $2,000 monthly payment. You have a vehicle. You know what I mean? It might not be the smartest thing for your financial situation, but you could fucking get it. You know what I mean? And but it just makes you feel good about yourself. Like Jordan Belfort says it a lot, and I quoted it in one of my meetings with the guys. So on my Instagram, I'm like, I've been sad, like I said. I've been sad and had nothing, and I've also cried in my Aston Martin about how hard life is, and I felt much better in that Aston Martin crying. You know what I'm saying? In my nice 3,000 square foot fucking condo. Well, 2,000, 3,000 was a little boost. 2,000 square foot condo.
2,000 square foot condo.
Down in Texas, they're all.
What are you gonna say? I'm like, where in Toronto?
No, not here. That's like fucking $3 million, $4 million. It's like $10 million. Down there, it's not bad. It's like a couple $100,000. It's a big difference,
God.
Yeah, it's a nice condo.
I gotta see this condo.
Yeah, it's fucking beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful down there still. But anyways, I didn't own it. I rented it. My point was, I like to rent where I live and then own what I rent out. The whole GC thing. Yeah, it's freedom, right? But yeah, it's just I felt better about myself, and if you feel better, you perform better. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes, and especially being in our business, people love superficial things. I've kind of, after I got married, and even before that, like 25, I started giving a fuck. I stopped giving a fuck about superficial things, and really focused more about portfolio business, not having to work. You know what I mean? Eventually, retirement as fast as possible. And retirement is such a, I'm not gonna retire, but not work because you have to work. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing,
Both of us have to work.
Purpose, yeah. But then we're gonna assume work for purpose,
Yeah, for sure.
And fuck, how did it feel? It felt good, man. You feel good about yourself, you perform well. You know what I mean?
Talk about, like when I see people, and just kind of going back to the idea of like the Ferrari getting repoed or like you kind of losing it all, I think one of the biggest things is the ethics isn't there. And I think what happens is, see, boom, I'm hitting something. And I've seen this in door-to-door because in door-to-door, the older leaders I had, it was like they would flex how much money they're making or look how cool things are. But ethically, they're not really caring about the actual, boom, we've hit something right here. I think that's why you lose it all, because the ethics are out.
100% ethics is massive. With all the skill and everything, if you have no ethics, it's bullshit. And the reason you flex what you have is because you don't have the leadership to attract people with a higher lid to your organization. So you feel like you have to flex all the stuff that you have to actually attract those people into the organization. And that's incorrect. You can post a video of you in Aston Martin or of you in this car, that car, of this house, that house. But I'm not, now, especially if you're trying to attract a high level leader, For example, someone's trying to recruit you, someone's trying to recruit me. I'm not trying to be like, hey man, look at my nice car, and look at my car, look at everything I have. Wow, come work for me.
At 21, it's great.
Yeah, at 21 it works, right? But when you get older, it doesn't work. For you to attract high-level leadership, you have to be a high-level leader.
I see a dude with like 10 homes or 50 doors that they're renting out. You got my attention, bro.
Guaranteed.
You got my attention.
That is what I want. You're telling me you have a residual income of $40,000,
or you own
talk to me.
Or you have 4 companies. You do $50 million in revenue a year. You got my attention.
That's why I got into the insurance game. Because my mentor right now. So this guy made $4 million in 2020 that did door to door. Okay, he's not who's mentoring me right now. But he dropped his whole entire company to do insurance. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing insurance for? He's like, you just made $4 million last year. Like he drives a blue Lambo. Like he was making millions while you and me were in diapers. Like yeah, he's a serious guy, right? And he's like, he dropped everything to do insurance. I'm like, why? He's like, residual fucking income. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, this is basically door to door. But it's residual income forever. So if you lose your sales team,
you make a sale
and you get leads, you do phone calls, it's on Zoom. I'm like, I'm like, let's go, right? And it blew my mind. And that's why I got into insurance, because I'm looking at all these guys like Patrick Bet-David, like Ed Milet, like these guys. I'm like, where do they make their millions? I started reading the first 5 moves, your next 5 moves by Patrick Bet-David, great book. And I started really digging deep. These guys made their millions off of insurance. And I started digging deeper. Bro, there's so many guys making millions of dollars residually from insurance. I'm like, where the hell do I sign up? It's not. And talking about ethics, like when I was 21, 20, I had no ethics. My only ethics is
making
get
a joke
paid.
about insurance, but then
No,
it's all
good.
My mom was an insurance broker. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay,
but
yeah.
no,
Life
but
insurance?
Yeah. Like mortgage and car insurance. But I mean, at the end of the day, in Canada, you don't have an option. You have to pay for insurance.
Yeah, and that's why I like life insurance, because people get life insurance to die with life insurance. Yeah. So it's forever. Neither do I. We should though. We don't. We should. It's cheaper now, and it's better now. And actually, life insurance. There's this guy I follow him on Instagram. I forgot his fucking name.
Why don't you sign me up for life insurance?
Yeah, if you want, bro, no problem. I got you. It's cheap. You can get it for cheap, but it's actually a wealth tool. That it literally compounds over time. You can take that money out later on, and it is increased, but with interest, it compounds. It's crazy. Very rich people use life insurance wealthy people, not rich. Wealthy people use life insurance as a form of wealth. It protects their wealth. You know what I mean? It's a non-taxable source of savings and income that you can pull out whenever you really want.
It has to be a tax write-off too.
It is a complete tax write-off. Everything, yeah. It's a beautiful thing. I need to get it myself. I just literally started in the insurance game.
Nice. Well, I'll be your first client.
Well, we had a lot of clients so far, but you can be the first client in Canada.
Yay! Wow, I'm so lucky.
But talking about ethics, when I was 21, I had no fucking ethics. I had absolutely no ethics. I was just trying to chase the check and rah, let's go sell some stuff. It doesn't matter what value we provide to the client. And that's what led me to lose it all,
Like this?
And that's exactly, and when I went to the States, I realized that you can't have no ethics, because if you don't have ethics, you get sued and you can go to jail. So me going to the States made me understand how to sell ethically, how to sell properly, and actually believe in the program that you're offering. And that was a big culture shock, because what we were selling back in when we were 19, 20. HVAC. There's companies like Reliance, all these things that have built off of door to door. They're worth billions, and now it's illegal to sell, but people are still selling it. You can't sell it door to door, but you can still sell it. Like my buddy, he runs a very, very successful HVAC company. But the ethics, you can still sell it.
It was illegal. It was the tactics.
It was the tactics. We're not gonna get into it, but the tactics of it, and that's what we got taught, or I got taught when I was younger, by bad leadership and bad mentorship. And you don't know what you don't know, so I thought this was the only way to sell. And me having a culture shock with having to actually sell ethically developed my sales skills to a whole different level. So not having ethics with your guys, integrity, ethics with your guys, the people that follow you, not having ethics in your relationship, because I feel like the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. You know, if you cheat on your diet, your girl, and if you cheat on your diet, typically you're going to cheat on your girl, and then you're going to cheat on your business, you're going to cheat on your customers, you're going to cheat on this, cheat on everything, right? So the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So
that is such a powerful line.
it is. One of my good buddies that I consider my not rival, but he was a little bit of a mentor, but now really more of a good friend in business that I learned from, you know, but he learned from me as well. You know, it's a hard topic for me to speak on with this guy, but so I'm not going to get into it. But he actually said,
watching the video right now.
no, he said that line, and that line hit me. You know, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So, you know, when it comes to ethics,
Even just lying.
Lying is, yeah, if you lie, you're going to lie to everybody. You're going to lie to this, you're going to lie to that, you're going to lie to this. You know?
I think the life of like a compulsive liar, but when you're young and dumb and you don't have that mentorship, you know, that's where it's like, oh,
it's a lack of mentorship,
or I'll
man.
just get away with it right now.
It's a lack of mentorship.
For sure.
It's a lack of mentorship.
Because, you know, just going into business, like if you had a dad who was like, yo, you said something that was a white lie, your dad caught that, who's a successful guy in business, he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And he would slap it out of you.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, someone's slapping it out of you, you just kind of run with it. And
that person might slap it out, you might be the cops.
But that's what I mean, that's where you go up and then you go right down. So that's why,
Ethics is a big thing,
that's
man.
why, like, you know.
Ethics is a big thing, and just lying to your people, that's huge, you know, lying to people.
It's everything, dude. It's like, you know, even when I see these guys, like, it's casual to cheat on your girl. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, even like this whole like Toronto culture, it's like hearing people go, it's okay to cheat on your significant other. What? Where's the logic in this?
Why are you with this significant other?
How is this okay?
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
How is this okay? So, and again, there's a lot of problems with society. But, you know, if I go to Texas, everyone's
still cheating on their girl. But it's just it's a crazy paradigm that people are in right now, and it's just like bad leadership from the get-go. Yeah. You know, that's what I feel like, and now people's leadership is the fucking media.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's why I've come out with this. This podcast is, listen, I don't know it all. I feel like I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations with my stutter, with door to door, with having good mentorship and also bad mentorship. And not that I've figured it out, but I feel like I'm in a place right now where, you give me someone who's a 21-year-old or 22-year-old, I feel confident. I can give them good advice. Yeah, you can. I work with people in their 60s, and I feel like I have good advice. Yeah. 50s, you know, I have a client who's a doctor. He's a physician in Chicago. He just graduated my program.
Crazy.
And he's like so grateful of, you know.
That's crazy.
So what I'm trying to get at is we need more. Bailey, stop. Do not bark. Hope you guys enjoy my dog in this episode. Yeah, man. So the final piece of this podcast is I'm going to give you words. You tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. No. Okay. So first thing is commitment.
Loyalty. Oh, speak about it?
No, I'm just saying, yeah.
Commitment to, first you gotta have commitment to what the words that you have to say. You have to have commitment to who you are as a person before you have commitment to others. If you're not committed to the words that you say, the things you tell yourself that you're gonna do, you're not gonna be able to be committed to absolutely anybody else in your life, committed to God, committed to the people that follow you, committed to your customers, nothing.
Cool. Money.
A tool to bring happiness and a tool to help others.
Love.
God. God is love. God is love. Christ is love. I feel like most relationships fails because they don't have God in their relationship. I might be biased because I'm Christian, whatever, but I feel like if without God, I wouldn't be in the relationship I am, and I'm really grateful to be in the relationship I am. I never thought I would give up money to be in a relationship with my wife, and I gave up money for love, and it turned out to bring me even more money, which is crazy. It's like you sacrificed, but because of that sacrifice, you led to greater and bigger things, you know? And having God in your relationship as a source of your love makes you understand that people fuck up and make mistakes, but you can work through it together because, you know, God is love and God forgives. You know what I mean?
I love that.
No, thanks, man.
Conspiracy theories.
Truth. It's the truth. I mean, some conspiracy theorists are kind of fried, but in my humble opinion.
Certain words that like you got to be from Toronto to understand. Yeah. Fried is like such a high school.
Conspiracy theorists are definitely some of them are a little crazy, but you know, a lot of them, you know, are coming. It's coming to the realization that it's actually being true. Like people thought that, you know, there isn't a world government trying to control everything when the World Economic Forum is saying, we want a great reset. We want the world to be one world in his freaking book. What's the guy's name? Hoover. What's the guy's name? The head guy of the World Economic Forum. You know who I'm talking about? Anyways, I forgot his name. He has a book, and literally in his book says, we're tailoring everything to somewhere where we can take away people from the physical, literally change the way people live in the physical realm and the way they view life, you know? And we have to do that by a one world.
You're a crazy person, bro. Get your tinfoil hat out of my head.
It's in a book,
no, it's
you know?
crazy. But then
Well,
you say that and people slap you.
Yeah.
Like this is misinformation.
My mom says the same thing. My mom is more left than right, to be honest.
For sure.
And it is.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an entrepreneurial thing. I have a lot of entrepreneurial friends. We're obviously more right in our thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we depend on ourselves and God instead of depending on other people like the government. That's what I feel. What do you think?
Oh man, I just feel like I don't know.
It's true though. All of my employee friends, I'm not talking bad about employees, all of my employee friends got vaccinated like this.
And because the job's online.
Right away. Not even that. Fuck the job. They were just like pro-vax. What do you mean you're not getting vaccinated? You got to protect everybody. I'm like, bro, what? And all my business owner friends were like, we got to figure out a way around this. You know, there has to be a solution here. You know, and you're more solution oriented than pessimistic about life. And it's free thinking. It's free thinking, instead of being told what to think, because our parents told us what to think. And we saw right away that our parents told us what to think. And because we did something else than what our parents told us, we gained the fruits of our labor. But if we did what they told us to think, we would be in a position in our lives where we probably wouldn't be happy. But we wouldn't even know if we're happy or not because we wouldn't know the other side of the coin, you know? It's fucked. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
You know what's so funny? It's like last episode we had, talked with Darren Cabral, and he was like all like conspiracy theorists, all this stuff, and I did like a whole intro video of like, guys, just want to give you a heads up, we're gonna be talking about some hot topics. Now I'm like, I don't care, just talk about it all. Like, I'm not gonna put an intro video in here. If you don't like it, too bad.
Podcast is not about business. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just so funny. Before I'm like, I'm sorry guys if I offended you. It's crazy, man. No, like, like I actually love this.
It is what it is, man. I'm having a good time.
Dude, do you have any conversations? So my first guest was Andrew Kaspiris, and I started like hitting buttons of like, what do you think about Doug Ford? What do you think about Trudeau? And he just wasn't answering it. And people actually like, not thanked me, but pretty much said like, good job on trying to push Andrew to kind of hear what he has to say. Because he was like, no comment.
Really?
Yeah. Right? Because like he just wants to say, listen, I'm just focused on this, right?
Got it.
Whereas this is the conversations that people are having right now.
I don't give a shit, to be honest, about what people think about me. I'm sure you don't care what they think about you. If we cared what the hell people thought, we wouldn't be where we are at in life.
No, but but I think Joe Rogan's a perfect example. This is what happens. But this is what happens when you have a lot of people, they cancel them. Take my music off Spotify, like Neil Young, or you have all these doctors who's like, he needs to get taken off Spotify for misinformation. This is what happens, even though if you actually watch it, there's a reason why he's got the #1 podcast. There's a reason why Spotify gave him $100 million. He has a loyal fan with not a bunch of white supremacists, racists.
Yeah.
They got the biggest population period listening to this guy's show because he's a logical dude. He sees both sides. He's logical.
Missing all the points where he's actually going on the left side and listening it out,
For sure.
and trying to poke
For sure.
holes, playing devil's
For sure.
advocate. You know what I mean? And if people are
It's a
afraid,
very-
this is what it is with Canada. People are, I can't say with Canada, with certain individuals. And I was like this when I was younger. You're just afraid to speak your mind. And I had that growing up. Like growing up, I couldn't talk. I was a shy kid. I didn't have any self-confidence at all. Like I was on the high school basketball team. I remember getting called to play off the bench for Gates. My legs are shaking before I get onto the court. You know, I'm just shitting myself. And I was a tall kid. I knew how to play ball in practice. I'm playing, but in the game, like I'm shitting myself because I lacked complete confidence. You know, it's just people are afraid to say what they actually think. And because they're
the mob.
Exactly.
The mob's gonna come after me.
Exactly. And the mob is, I just got attacked recently.
Not the Italian mob.
Online. I just got attacked recently online on some bullshit. I just got attacked online and I
run ads, man. I
Yeah,
know.
you
I
get
see
attacked.
it.
Yeah, you get attacked. Right? It's
I
crazy.
love it though.
You're fake.
You're a
Ah,
scam.
Cool. Sounds good. You know, tell that to my life and the happiness that I've developed for
Well
myself.
then, yeah, I know.
Fuck it.
Dude, I respond to all the haters. I actually like.
You engage?
Oh, hey man.
I always like to engage.
I actually apologize. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How can I do this better? I go, how can I do this better?
My buddy actually replies to all the people that he runs ads to for like recruiting and do a lot for recruiting. They're like, don't believe. He goes in hot. Like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Look at this, look at that. My buddy Ali.
That's how they take down your ad account.
Oh yeah,
Like, you gotta also be, somewhat political at some level.
You have to be.
Because
it's controlled by people that don't care about your thoughts. Really, it's just an algorithm.
Well, it's very scary of the line of thinking of whatever the government says, it has to be true. That's a very scary line of thinking.
Oh man.
Like, if we were in Germany in 1939 or 19 whatever, and you're right, Jewish people, they're gross people. Jewish people have big noses. Jewish people cannot be part of our society. Well, this is what the government's saying. Right? We need to get rid of them. We need to, that's what the government's saying. That's a scary, or like even the whole idea, and this is the difference between Canadians and Americans. When the British owned the US, they were in war with the French, and whatever year this was in the 1700s, they're like, we're going to tax these guys, on the tea or whatever it was. And then the States were like, fuck this. Yeah. We're going to pour your tea in the ocean. We ain't paying nothing. And by the way, we're going to be our own country. Yeah. Right? And that's why actually Americans are a lot more vocal. Whereas Canadians, we bow to the Queen. Yeah. We have the Queen on our money still.
Crazy.
Right? And if you think about it, Canada is one of the most vaccinated.
But the British pound is twice the value.
Yeah, for sure. That's a whole nother. Yeah. It's just like Australia, right? Yeah. But with Canadians, like we're one of the most vaccinated countries in the world. Like we followed orders, and we're always going to be people that are going to be following orders.
That's what it is.
And I feel like the entrepreneur friends I have, we're always like, just because the teacher said that doesn't mean it's true. Just because the government, just because CP24 saying that doesn't mean it's true.
The same thing happened to my country. Sorry to cut you off in Yugoslavia.
Exactly.
Yugoslavia, like the governments.
What were they? Were they communists? Were they?
They were known as the only communist country to actually be happy. It was a communist society that actually worked, but it turned out it didn't work because they were in massive debt. But before that surfaced and the problems happened, like everyone was happy. My mom would tell me stories like people would go to the beach 2 months out of the year. Like they were actually happy, good quality of life. Everybody said it.
That's what people use in universities, right? No one has done communism right yet.
No one has done it right. They didn't do it right because you can't do it right because ended up like the people were happy, which was great, but they were in massive debt and it crumbled, right? Mm-hmm. So that was all great. Yugoslavia was a communist country, but when the head leader, Tito, died, I just started getting into. I didn't really know what happened in my country until recently. I started watching documentaries, like from both sides, all angles. It was just people in power trying to swing their dicks around, trying to say, "Hey, I am right. I want to rule this stuff. I want to rule this. You have no say." And people are just conflicting. And now, my dad used to tell me. He recently passed away, but God bless him. But anyways, he used to tell me he used to have pashteta, which is like pate with bread with the guys across the other army, you know what I'm saying? Just in a day, just playing cards, and they're like, okay, it's time to fight. So they pick up their shit, go to their tanks, and start killing each other.
Oh my God.
It's fucked. Yeah, it's fucked.
And the thing with our generation, we've never experienced that.
We don't know what pain
So
is.
we're just a bunch of pansies.
We don't know. Yeah, we're a bunch of
just like,
bitches.
oh my, I gotta stay home and whatever, right? Or
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
We're a
We
bunch of
actually know balls.
we've never experienced that.
And
I
that's what
hope
makes
to
us God we don't.
But what happens is when
We
you got
might.
a weak society, you create that.
We might.
God
Do you see
damn,
what's happening
bro.
right now? Do you see
Damn.
what's happening right now? You see what's happening right now in fucking Ukraine right now? Canada, this, that. There's a lot of tension happening right now. Right now, China is literally about, like they have threatened the Australian people time and time again because of Taiwan. Like, we're at the brink of an actual war. Hopefully not. I pray to God, I don't want a war. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have the ability to control that. Unfortunately, we just don't. We have the ability to control our lives and the family that we have in our lives.
But many people don't think like that, bro.
Yeah. What's it called? But right now, because I feel right now the whole COVID thing, one, it's a test for the social credit system. Number two, which is a key point, I feel like they're covering up what's really happening in the world. You know what I'm saying? There is a war. This is the most peaceful time that we've had in a long time in this world. And it's not even peaceful, apart from the Middle East and stuff. But this is the most peaceful time we've had in X amount of years, right? Like since World War I, World War II. And I hope to God it doesn't end, but there's a lot of stuff happening in this world, bro. A lot of stuff, and
I think
it's scary, man.
I think at some level we have like natural gut instincts.
Yeah.
Of like, because we're not, it's just like we could tell when there's danger coming around.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of us are becoming more aware because we're like, some shit's about to fucking happen.
Yeah.
And we're like, if we don't fix the trajectory, there's gonna be a problem. There's gonna be something big, and I think that's why. So I think that's why we're getting upset, man. I think that's why we're like talking about this.
Yeah, bro.
You know, this whole thing of like censor that person, shut that person up. That isn't good. That doesn't go with the narrative. So, anyway, craziness, right? Now, we get upset, but at the same time,
It's all good.
we go back to the level of it's all good. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I'm gonna work on my business. I'm gonna grow me. I'm gonna make sure I'm constantly getting better day after day, because if there's one thing I can't control, it's me.
And if there is a war, my friend, I'll see you in Barbados. You know, in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
You have the money to escape. Like,
Yeah, something.
make sure you're prepared
Something.
to be able to
Something.
protect your family.
I know.
You gotta be
You
able
can't
to
just sit
protect
on
your
your,
family.
yeah, you can't just sit, and just wait for what happens next.
Yeah.
You gotta be
Reactive. You can't
Yeah,
be
you
reactive.
can't be
You gotta be
reactive.
proactive, yeah.
I think that's why these conversations are good, and that's why every single day I'm going hard.
And I feel like the business, because
We got involved in business at such a young age.
We're natural fighters.
We're one, natural fighters. Two, so because we got involved in business at such a young age, you know what I mean? I feel like we've built that muscle of resilience, the muscle of free thinking, the muscle of being able to depend on ourselves and God to create for our lives, the muscle of understanding that just because you're being told something is not the right fucking thing, the muscle of understanding that the environment that you're in doesn't have to be your circumstance. You know what I mean? And I encourage people that are an employee, that are watching this podcast, that are in school, that are in this, you can still stay in school, still be an employee, but get involved in business. Start counting on yourself instead of counting on others, you know? Or else you're gonna be stuck in a fucking whirlwind of just being reactive to the world.
Sure. Oh, I wonder what my boss is gonna do. I wonder what this is gonna happen. Well, it's not even business. It's about being a producer. Like, I look at myself like an athlete, but in business, right?
Yeah,
Like, I have to produce. I have to score goals.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that my body's on point. I have to make sure that my mind and my attitude's on point. So, yeah, man, this has been a great podcast. You know what? I'll just think of a couple more words. Gucci. What does Gucci mean to you? With the Gucci shoes.
My favorite brand. Gucci is my favorite brand. I like it. I like that and Prada. I like Gucci, Prada, and they make me taller. I'm not tall. I'm not tall enough.
Yeah, you're not tall.
I'm not tall enough. You know, I like to be 6'4" or 6'3". You know, to make people think I'm a basketball player.
Your wife.
My rock. She's my rock. She, no,
Well,
you know.
you're more of like you're more of like a 2022 type of relationship where you work and she works and you're both equal.
No.
And you share. I'm just fucking.
Oh, okay.
You share everything, and
No,
you
she-
stand behind her in pictures.
No, she has. No. That's how you end up divorced, sad, or in a bad relationship. You know, I feel
You're
like
gonna be the stay-at-home dad while she's the breadwinner.
grow some nuts to those guys. Those guys need to grow some nuts. No offense to them. No offense to them. You know, like there's a reason why Adam came first, and then Adam was made from the soil, and then Adam was made from the soil, and Eve was made from Adam's rib. Yeah. Adam was made from the soil. He's supposed to put in the dirt, put in the work. Yeah. Eve was made from the rib, which is one of the most sensitive parts of a human body next to the heart. You know what I mean? So, from biblical times, the woman is supposed to be there for the man to balance him. Like my wife balances me. I'm go, but because my wife is there, I have to think about, okay, my family now. I can risk it all, but if I risk it all, is it worth risking it all? Because if I fuck up, I have another mouth to feed. You know what I mean? And soon we're planning on having kids, I'm gonna have mouths to feed. You know what I mean? And rock meaning that she'll tell me the truth. Like if I'm off my diet, she's like, stop fucking being a fat fuck. And she never used to do that. And I told her to tell me that because I needed some aggressiveness. I'm like, you're way too nice. You're way too like kind, you're this and that. I need some like, tell me that it's not good to eat this shit. You know what I mean?
You're a fat fuck.
Yeah. And I tell her to do that because
babe, I had some chicken McNuggets today. I'm so sorry.
Daniel made me.
You're a fat fuck.
No, but it's just what it is. You need someone there to keep you grounded because a lot of people see you have like 3 lives. You live a public life, a personal life, and a public life, a personal life, and an intermental life, right? So, I mean, the public life is one thing. Yeah. Your public persona is one thing, but if you're in a good relationship, if it's healthy, I'm blessed to say we don't argue. It's been a good 3 years. We do not argue nothing. We live a very happy life. And I feel like that's communication. We like during COVID when we were stuck together in the same enclosed space in the Toronto condo, which isn't that big, for months and months on end, we didn't argue. In fact, it made us closer. You know what I mean? So I mean having a good woman, and I all women are good, but I feel like something about, she comes from a military family back from Belarus.
Damn.
And I feel like something about that side of the world where they are grateful for what they receive in life.
I think that's the problem with our generation.
They're not grateful.
They're not grateful.
They're not grateful. And that area of the world, they understand what former Soviet Union growing up, like building blocks, like Belarus is the last communist country in all of Europe, right? It's still a communist country, right? So they're building the blocks of...
How did she get here then?
She got here, her mom...
Because they're not allowed to leave.
No, now they're not. Now they're not, but they were. It was a communist country, but they could leave, whatever. It was just hard to get into other places. She came here on a student visa. Her mom saved up $20,000 for her whole entire life and gave her the $20,000 to come here and get an education.
Damn.
Yeah, so, I'm even trying to turn her into more, she's into drop shipping, she's into trying to learn and build her own brand. So I turned her into more business savvy, but she was obviously grown up from old tendencies. They have a lot of good things, but it's obviously like get a job, go to school, do this, like our parents, right? So yeah, man, my wife keeps me grounded, makes me not act cocky and prideful and understand that I have more to work for, and she keeps me connected to God, which is the number one fucking thing I feel ever, period.
Humbled.
Yes, sir.
Cool, man. Well, listen, this was an awesome episode, man.
My friend,
This was,
I appreciate the time.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Appreciate the time.
It was awesome.
Bro.
If you guys want to connect with Nick, what we'll do is we'll tag his Instagram down in the description. If you are looking into, sales or kind of building a career for yourself, Nick is a connected guy as a whole. So whether if they work with you or work with someone else, if you want to level up your communication, you can message him on probably Instagram. That's probably
Niko Enterprises.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really appreciated this podcast. I really appreciate this episode. There was some good times, some bad times, and
it is what it is. It's not scripted.
it's not scripted, and we're having a real talk, man. So anyway, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, we'll see you guys later.
Adios, amigo.
Peace.